In the other greenhouse I've got a T-Rex plant, which is a really cold hardy tropical plant, and it's grown a little what they call a pup, which is a sucker that's come off the main root system. It's then surfaced out of the soil and it's grown a baby T-Rex plant. So I'm going to have a go at trying to get that off that plant so we can propagate it and grow ourselves another one. And I also want to get the mother plant out of the container that it's in and into ground, so through summer we can try and get it to grow even bigger. So let's go and take a look at this plant and see if we can successfully separate this baby. So this is the plant and that's the little baby, and we've somehow got to try and get it out of this pot and separate that pup from the parent plant. And it's been in this pot for about 2 years, so all I can think is to try and loosen it around the edge best that I can and see if we can convince it to move. It's trying to move. There we go. Oh, that's very heavy. So that's that part done. There's quite a lot of roots at the bottom, but considering how long it's been in this pot, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. You can see those. So now we need to try and get this separated as carefully as we can. I think we'll just tease some of this soil away to start with. It's always stressful when you're doing jobs like this because you don't want to damage your main plant. There's certainly a lot of roots here. I think if we take these bottom pieces away, it might help. This actually goes a lot deeper than you think. If you can see all this, this is going straight to the main stem off of this little plant. And whatever we do when we take this plant away, we want to ensure we're getting as many of the roots with it as we possibly can. So if we trace these roots right down, then try and pull them out like that, we might just get somewhere. I think we'll be alright at that. So that's the baby plant, and we've not done too much damage to the main root system while taking that off. So we'll leave this for a moment and we'll get this put straight into a pot. So as you can imagine, that was pretty stressful. But that's what we've ended up with. And we have got a really good root system there. So hopefully this little fella will survive when we pot it on. So I think we'll pop it into something this size. It's going to give it plenty of room to grow without us having to disturb it any time in the near future. And I've put a bit of rough compost in the bottom of there, but I'm going to add a good amount of bone meal and some fish blood and bone, because I doubt there was much in the way of nutrients left in that compost which this plant's just come out of. And I'm using such a big pot for other reasons as well, because of the roots on this. So we can just kind of let that drop into the bottom, keep this at about that height. So I'm just going to fill this tub up, get this plant in as quick as we can. I'll keep it loose because I need to be able to make a really deep hole for these roots. So I've made a hole virtually down to the bottom of this container, so we can just feed this in. And then if we just give it a shake, it'll fill itself in. And then we'll just fill in around the edges. And I've got a mix here of Epsom salt and tomato food, so we'll give it some of that as well. The magnesium sulfate will help the root system. So far so good. We've got a baby T-Rex plant. We didn't damage the root system too much by separating it from the mother plant. But now we need to get the mother plant in the ground as well. And we said we'd probably put it in this beer garden area. And that part gets the most sun, so I think that's probably going to be the best place to put it. We just need to dig an hole. And we've done a little bit more work on this area as well. I got some of this screening, and then we've just screwed it to the inside. And I think it looks quite effective, to be honest. Rather than having the just the blue tarp at the back, which I have left on, that's going to help cut down on the amount of wind that actually blows through this when you're inside it. But yeah, I think that was quite effective for the moment. And we'll be doing a bit more work on this as we come towards summer. But for now, we need to get this plant sorted out. We'll keep it away from the fence as well, because it might want to grow that way as well. Let's give that a try. Just a little bit more. I think that'll be fine. So I'm just going to add a bit of feed to the bottom, a bit of bloodfish and bone, and some bone meal. And we'll get that straight in. Bed it down a little bit. Now we can just fill back in. So we've got that in, and I'm sure now that it's in ground, fresh compost and a good feed, it'll soon start to grow. So I think that was quite successful, and it was a job worth doing. To put a tropical plant in the beer garden area that we're trying to create is going to give it a nice touch as it grows. And we've got as baby T-Rex as well, which we'll keep in this greenhouse and keep an eye on it for a while. So if you want to see any more videos about what we actually do through summer in the beer garden, what goes on in the container garden, and anything else that we think of in between now and then just hit that subscribe button and press that notifications bell, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching.